Hello, I'm Derek Eady, Community Relations Associate with Back Bay Mission, located in Biloxi, Mississippi. And I'm sitting here today with our new Interim Executive Director, Mr. Charles E. Brown. How are you doing today, Mr. Brown?
Good, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Derek.
Well, we have so many people, so many donors and so many family members and friends of the mission that are excited about you being here, as well as the staff and our board of directors. And so we just wanted to talk with you about Back Bay Mission, about your idea of Back Bay Mission, your vision for Back Bay Mission relative to the mission and vision statements that are already outlined for us here by our board of directors. So what are your perceptions of Back Bay Mission? Now that you're here, what are your perceptions of Back Bay Mission as you're ready to take on the new role as Interim Executive Director?
Well, it's interesting, Derek. I was here in 2007 as part of a work group, and it was 2 years after Katrina, and we stayed in the trailers. We didn't have the accommodations that they have now.
Yes.
But what I'm surprised at is the numbers of things that you do that you didn't do in 2007.
Okay.
Almost 7 years ago, and all the resources that you have, I thought all you did was build houses and rehab houses, and that was probably your biggest focus during 2007 after Katrina. But I'm really surprised at all of the services, the human services, the veteran services, the food pantry, the clothing, the ability for folks to take showers and do laundry, and just the myriad of things that Back Bay Mission provides for its clients here in the Gulf Coast is just amazing to me. And so that's probably the biggest thing that has surprised me since I've been here.
Yes, sir. What are some of the skills and lessons that you've learned in previous times you've worked, rather here at Back Bay Mission, or the things that have developed you into a professional that you take into here that makes you a match for what you're doing now at the mission?
Well, a number of things. I believe I spent a lot of time doing human services kinds of things back in Cleveland. I was on the alcohol and drug board. Then they merged with the mental health board, and I was the president of the former alcohol and drug board, and then the alcohol, drug, and mental health services board. I was treasurer of that organization. And one of the wonderful places that I did board work was with St. Paul's Community Outreach. And it was in the near west side of Cleveland, Ohio. And we worked with the homeless, and we worked with quite a diverse population. And so from that human services aspect, I'm very familiar with working with folks, with indigent folks, poor folks, rich folks, all kinds of folks.
Right.
And so I've had that opportunity. I enjoy it because I think that there's something that I can provide to this community here. I'd been previously the Executive Director of Union Miles Development Corporation in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a local community development organization. We built houses, we created street clubs, we had safety patrols. One of the things that I'm proud of is that I initiated this program. We were able to get people in houses, but the thing that we had to do was, since people hadn't been in houses, very simple things like, well, if the water's dripping, then you need new washers in the faucet. You know, the garbage collects on Thursday, so you got to take the garbage out. You know, you just can't leave it out. And all kinds of service things that we did. And so that's what we do here. You know, we rehab houses, we build houses. During the time that I was at Union Miles, we built 30 houses, and I was there 4 years. Also, having worked down at the national office of the United Church of Christ, I was the minister for African American Relations. And so one of the things that I spoke to our African American churches about was mission, and things that we needed to do as a denomination and as a people, that we need to start doing mission work.
Yes.
one of my priorities is to get some of our African American churches here in Biloxi, here at Back Bay Mission, to do work camp work. So that's one of the things that I've done. So I've got a myriad experience doing various things in the community and on boards and as an executive, working with city government and other housing builders and developers, and so I've had a myriad of experience of being able to do this kind of work here.
Great. You know, your breadth of experience really lends itself toward the completion of the vision statement for Back Bay Mission, the new vision statement that has been adopted by Back Bay Mission. And so, how do you interpret the vision statement of this organization?
It's interesting because when I first read the vision statement, what I thought was it said that we were going to eradicate poverty, and I thought, wow, that's quite
right. Yeah,
we've had
lofty.
Yeah, we've had poverty since the beginning of time,
right.
And for us to decide that we're going to eliminate poverty was like, oh my, that's quite a vision, quite a something to strive for. But it says eliminate the sting of poverty, and I can certainly understand that. Poverty is something that folks are in, and sometimes they just don't know how to dig themselves out of that. And what we do here at Back Bay Mission is we will help them dig themselves out of poverty. We will give them the opportunity to be a different person, to be able to heal the stings of poverty. And I've never been in a position where I've been homeless, or so I can't tell you what that's like. But I've met enough people, I've talked to enough people about that, and I know that it's not a happy place to be. And so if we can alleviate any of that pain, any of that suffering, any of those difficulties that they may have, that's what we need to do, and that's what we're going to do. I also know that a lot of the folks that we serve, a lot of the folks that I interacted with in Cleveland, a lot of them had alcohol and drug problems. A lot of them had mental health issues, and I think that's one of the things that our social workers deal with, and help those folks. Once you can get away from the alcohol and drugs, once you can medicate some of the mental health issues, and folks have an opportunity to move forward, to move up. As you say here, we're not here to give you a handout, but a hand up.
Yes.
And I think that's a marvelous idea. That's a marvelous idea.
So, Mr. Brown, you're now on the inside of Back Bay Mission as a direct employee. What, for those who are not, for those on the outside, as far as being direct employees of the mission, what is something different from the outside that now you're on the inside that you learned about the members and staff here at Back Bay Mission?
Well, I think that what I most learned was the multitude of services that Back Bay Mission provides to its clients and guests. I am amazed. When I was here in 2007, about the most we did was rehab houses, and a lot of that was rehabbing houses that were destroyed or partially destroyed by Katrina. And so I'm here now, and I see all the supportive services. There's supportive services for veterans and family, the food kit, the food pantry. We do still do housing acquisition. We supply rent, help folks with rent.
That's right.
We have a clothing closet where folks can get clothes. We do laundry for the homeless. I am just amazed and astounded at all of the things that we do now that we didn't do before. And so I think that when people from the outside look at Back Bay Mission, most of the things that they think about are the folks that come down and work the camps and help the acquisitions of houses, help rehab the houses. but there's just so much more. As a matter of fact, doing the houses, rehabbing houses might be only 25% of all the stuff that we do. And that is what surprised me more than anything. I had no idea of, again, the magnitude of the services that we provide to the folks here in the Biloxi and Gulfport and Ocean Springs area.
Well, Mr. Brown, before we conclude our interview, is there anything that you'd like to express to our base of support for Back Bay Mission, our board of directors, and our staff here?
I would say that, and you hit it right on the nail, our base of support. When I talk to the work crews on Tuesday afternoons, one of the things that I always impress upon them is we can't do it without you. Back Bay Mission would not be in existence, well it would be, but at a very smaller level, without the help of the supporters. And I'm not just talking about their time, but their time and their talent and their treasure. We need all three of those. And folks have been very supportive of that. And so if you care about folks, if you care about justice and helping people, and then this is the place that you can provide that time and treasure and talent to us to help us do that. Because Mississippi is one of the poorest states, if not the poorest state in the country. There's a lot of homelessness here, a lot of folks in need, and we're trying to do the best we can, one family at a time, one house at a time, one mother at a time, one child at a time, and that takes time and talent and treasure. And those are the things we need. We need that the most. And as much treasure as you can send us, we love that. We love the talent that you provide when you come down, and we certainly appreciate the time that you are willing to give to help folks down here. And we know that you will get back 10 times what you give here. Nobody that I've talked to has ever left here not feeling energized and invigorated. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we've asked, or folks have asked, is how can we replicate what you do here at Back Bay Mission back home? And one of the things, one of my projects is to work on a plan, a very skeletal plan, to give our workers so that they can go back home and replicate what we do here at Back Bay Mission. And so that's one of the things, because people come here impressed. It's a life-changing experience. Nobody comes here and goes home the same way they got here, the same way they were when they came here. So that's what we're looking at, and I'll sum it up and say time, talent, and treasure. We need all three of those. Probably none more than the other, but we need your time and your treasure and your talent, because Back Bay Mission would not be in existence and be able to do the things that we do without your support. So that's what I would leave you with.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your time, and I appreciate it. I look forward to great things ahead under your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.